morning, class. I want us to discuss on these issues here. Our topic today is about database table relationships. And last time we had discussed about database, and we also discussed what table is and what relationship is. So today we'll just move ahead on these types of relationships. And with this kind of relationship that we want to discuss here today, we want just to start with the definition of what relationship is, and we are saying that relationship, these are linked data, or they are used to link data from individual tables to increase the usefulness of the database. So one of the great benefits of working with database is the ability to store huge quantities of information. Now, the relationships, this one are majorly done on a table or in tables in a database. So table relationship increases the power of the database by allowing data to be stored separately but managed and retrieved collectively. So having that in mind, we have the key to the relationships. Majorly, we have two types of keys. We have primary key and we have foreign key. Kaitani, can you read what primary key is, or it works for in what quotations? Correct. So when we use this primary key, they make sure that the fields relate in one way or the other. But remember, they must have the same data types. Now, we have primary key and foreign key. As I said, primary key is when is not in a relationship, but when a primary key is related to another table in a field, it changes to foreign key. So foreign key, when tables are linked by the primary key, the related field in the second table is known as foreign key. Now, we have referential integrity. With this referential integrity, one thing that we're supposed to know, it protects related data that is stored in multiple tables. So if there is any related data that you want to store in multiple tables, then this one you need to do something called referential integrity. It's very important. Now, examples. Referential integrity would prevent two cars from being assigned to the same driver, or two cars from being assigned the same ID number, or even number plate. So when you use the referential, no day something that is of the same will have an identical number or a unique number. So referential integrity is very important. It's just like what we have today. All of us, we have our ID number. My ID number is not your ID number, and it can't be happen that way because of referential integrity. Now, once we move on to the next part, we have what does a relationship look like? You can see we have relationship, ID number, and I said for a relationship to happen, then the fields that you want to put them into relationship, they must be of the same data types. Examples of data types, we have like text, we have like number, date and time, currency, etc. Now, setting up a relationship. Emmanuel, can you read that? Correct. So primary key is only added to the field with the same properties. Good. Kaitani, read this part here. Correct. And that is what we want to discuss today. Emmanuel? Kaitani? And Emmanuel? So we have three. So number one we said is 1, 2, 1. Number 2. And lastly, correct. So Kaitani, read for us this part. Mhm. Correct. It's not very efficient. In fact, it's the least common used. But one thing is simple, is one record matching to one record in another table. Simple as such. Then you have this one here, Emmanuel. Mm-mm, mm-mm. One record in table A. Mhm, mhm. Yes, correct. Mhm, correct. Thank you. So you can see is one field from suppliers linked to several fields in the other table B. So one from table A field relating to several fields in table B. That one you call it one to many. Kaitani, what do you think with many to many relationship? Correct. So several fields named from table A linked to several fields in table B. If that happens, then this one is many to many relationship. And this is the kind of relationship that is commonly used in many databases. But it doesn't mean that you can't use one to one. It's only that it's not common, but it is there. Finally, we have something called junction table. Junction table. What is this junction table, Emmanuel? Correct. So joint table, its major work is to do what? Is to join. You can see this, is to join primary key fields of multiple tables. So if you don't use this junction table and you use many to many relationship, it will not work effectively as you may think. So remember, when you're creating many to many relationship, mark to get this junction table. For example, Kaitani, correct. We all know what is a hub in a network, isn't it? So it acts as the major, as a major. So this junction has a many items that is supposed to get in it. So maybe my student who has a question somewhere that you want me to elaborate. Okay, thank you. Because you've understood, what I want you to do is to create database of your own choice. Make sure that you create tables not less, at least 4 tables. Make sure that you are able to use the 3 types of relationships and find this junction table plus the integral, the referential. Make sure that you also get the what? Referential integrity. So that in our next lesson, I'll be checking on this and then I'll be making sure that we are all okay with whatever that we've learned today. So once that thing is done, make sure that you also send your assignment to my email address as you can see it there by tomorrow 14th, exactly 2 p.m. So class rep Shayla, make sure that that thing is done by tomorrow. Thank you. So let's call it a lesson. We meet in our next lesson. Bye.